The situation in Southern California with these wildfires is absolutely insane. The sheriff of LA County is having a mandatory evacuation of over 180,000 people. More than 35,000 acres of land has been impacted. And sadly, as of this morning, 10 people have been reported to have lost their lives. The people of the Palisades are fighting for their lives and all of their possessions. But here's something that big insurance doesn't want you to know. There's a fight after the fight. What happens when the last embers finally go out? The news stations go on to the next big story, and the people of the Palisades are left with nothing but ashes. This video, we're gonna be going over live accounts of what's going on in Southern California and the lives it's impacting. But most importantly, we're gonna be touching on something that big insurance doesn't want you to know. If you're new here, Mike G, Delta Public Adjusting, where we've helped our homeowners recover millions from big insurance. Let's go ahead and get started. That's just crazy. This looks like a residential home completely engulfed in flames. It's sad. It's horrible. Imagine living in this neighborhood and you see that on the news. You see all the smoke around you. Obviously, you know the fire's coming. But you see that and you're like 2 houses down from that wall of fire. That's got to be so scary. That's terrifying. It's not like, if your home gets hit by a tornado, that's devastating. But it's usually done in an instant. Honestly, the tornado comes, your house is gone, demolished. You really didn't have time to prepare for it. In this instance, almost sometimes days ahead that the fire is coming and there's nothing you can do. The feeling of hopelessness, that's got to be just tremendous on the people here. I picked this clip because one of the residents here says something very interesting about insurance in the state of California, specifically in Southern California, that I want to touch on a little bit here. Let's check it out.
Dina, I am at the fire line of the Eden Fire. This is one of the many fires going on in Southern California, right?
The only thing in that home that's still standing is a chimney. When you put it in the perspective that not even about a month ago, there may have been a family there celebrating Christmas, opening up presents with their kids around that chimney. It's just sad. I feel for the people.
Through neighborhoods.
The fire and equipment push down. Please evacuate your homes immediately.
People who are right up to the fire line are hosing down their entire houses with water in like a last-ditch attempt before they have.
That's the saddest thing. Look at that. Those neighbors right there hosing down their homes, trying everything possible to mitigate that fire. And then right across the street, you got the neighbors just homes engulfed in flames. That's horrible. That's what I'm saying. Like with a tornado, it's gone. Tornado comes before you even have a chance to literally blink, your home's gone. Still horrible, still devastating, but you don't have the anxiety of seeing it come.
The California Fair Plan will only allow me about $330,000 in fire insurance. My house burns down, I cannot rebuild. I can't buy it. I got to give it to the state or whoever.
What he mentioned was the California Fair Plan. Now, the California Fair Plan is basically insurance of last resort. That's if you can't get insurance by normal means on the normal market, State Farm, Allstate, Travelers, what have you. The California Fair Plan is state mandated backup insurance. Now, if you know anything about government's never going to give you the best of the best. Government insurance, government anything. It's always just to give you the bare minimum just to survive. But here's the thing with the California Fair Plan. That home right there, may have looked a little small, but California prices are nuts, especially in Southern California. That home right there could be what, $1.3 million? The California Fair Plan is probably going to pay this guy $330. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? Like he said himself, he can't rebuild for that amount of money.
The woman in the red checker over there just came back to her street from last night to see her house on fire. And when she asked the fireman why he wasn't putting it out, he explained that they had run out of water, had to go and refill and come back. It's a dire.
So with these first responders, as a normie, like me, I'm a normie, or I'm not a first responder. I try to put myself in the shoes of the first responders. Poor firefighters working day in and day out, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, however long they've been trying to fight this fire. They literally ran out of water. Okay, do you know how insane that is? They ran out of water, right? So as a normie, we look at that, oh, my house is on fire and the firefighters are leaving. Of course, we don't understand that maybe they ran out of equipment, or they ran out of water. Maybe they worked a 48-hour shift and they're exhausted. My heart goes out to them. There's some bad asthma. This next one was just super crazy. So I lived in Washington for a little bit, and I believe there was some wildfires going on in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. It's Canada or California, one of those. And the smoke came up, and it was just everything was super hazy. So this video right here reminded me of that, but this is 10 times worse. This is crazy.
On it this morning to get more accurate numbers of acreage, but the fires being fueled by a combination of strong Santa Ana wind.
That's insane. That looks like a nuclear bomb went off in the background. And that's just the fire and all the smoke and all the haze going on. It's freaking crazy. This last one is pretty tough. It hasn't had a lot of views, but this interview for this homeowner just really brought it home.
We knew that both ends of the street were on fire. Our house was still standing as of this morning, along with these. We heard that the firefighters were trying to put out the fire, and so we wanted to see for ourselves what the damage was, but it's gone.
Man, I've seen this clip probably 3 or 4 times already. Every time it chokes me up because you can tell in her voice. You can tell in her voice she's trying to hold back the tears. And that's the tough part. She said just that morning, the house was still there. So it was still there. Like, you can see it, but you know that fire's coming for it.
This is our retirement. This is our nest egg. This is where we moved in when we got married. This is where our son was born. This was our house. And this was what we worked for. This was what we were going to use to retire. That was our investment. It's gone.
That's the thing. Like, okay, logically speaking, property is just property. It's just material, right? Thank God she got out with her life. Hopefully her family's safe. But there's also an intangible aspect to all of this. Think about all those memories. She said that's the house they moved into when they got married, where their kids grew up, their retirement, everything gone. That clip right there kind of just hits home. That's a tough one. What I want to kind of transition to is the fight after the fight. Once all the cameras are gone, all the news outlets stop reporting on this, they're going to be dealing with the fallout of this situation for months to years. And here's why. It's something that big insurance doesn't want you to know. This article here, titled, "Thousands of Los Angeles homeowners were dropped by their insurers before the Palisades fire." So based on this article, about 1,600 policies were dropped by Big Red themselves. It goes on to say that 2,000 additional policies were dropped in other neighborhoods across LA, which includes Brentwood, Calabasas, Hidden Hills, and Monte Nido. Insurance companies are for-profit organizations, period. Just like any other for-profit business, the most important number is the bottom line. The way that insurance companies make money is they take in as many premiums as possible with paying out as little as possible. And I get it. Even as a public adjuster, I advocate for the homeowner. I fight on behalf of the homeowner against big insurance. But I also understand big insurance as well because it is a business. They want to make money. Now, do I believe it's morally right? Absolutely not. Dropping insurance policies before the fire season starts, that's pretty messed up. Goes on to say, State Farm's decision reflects a trend of private insurers, including Allstate and Farmers Insurance, of dropping California policies or halting underwriting, leaving homeowners with the choice of getting coverage through the insurer of last resort, the California Fair Access to Insurance Retirement Plan, or FAIR. There's a lot of Southern Californians that all they can get is the FAIR plan. And that's supposed to be the last resort. And as you could tell from the gentleman from the previous clip, said that the FAIR plan would pay them pennies on the dollar for their probably $1 million home. Goes on to say, the neighborhood's 9,000 residential units have a median home value of $3.1 million. That's insane. First of all, this is a whole other topic about the craziness of the California market. Those homes are so ridiculously priced. It's disgusting. Even still, say your home is worth, not even on the high ends, 3.9, 1.2 mil. Let's say your home's worth $1.2 million. You wouldn't be able to rebuild it for anything less than $1.2 million. And the only insurance plan you're able to get because of all the big insurance companies that have pulled out of your neighborhood is the FAIR plan. They're going to pay you pennies on the dollar. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's go on to another article here. This one's pretty crazy because in this article it says State Farm canceled hundreds of policies last summer in the Pacific Palisades, and the move was justified. Get this, justified by the company as an attempt to avoid financial failure. Again, don't believe the commercials. Don't believe the commercials for any company, any business is to make you feel good, to make you feel like, yeah, I can trust this brand. I can trust this company. So it's going on talking about the California's FAIR plan, which works as an insurer of last resort, again, and has more than doubled its policies between 2020 and 2024. Doubled, reaching a total of 452,000 active policies. Again, this is the insurance plan of last resort, and you have 500,000 people on that plan. Here it says, who was affected by State Farm's cancellation? State Farm announced in April 2024 that it would have canceled a total of 72,000 policies in the state for houses and apartments, 30,000 of which were homes, residential homes. Here's the real kicker. Okay, it doesn't matter how many years, how many decades you have been a loyal customer of any insurance company. A policy, all a policy is a contract typically about a year long. So if you've been with State Farm, Allstate, Farmers, whoever, for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, at the end of that 1 year policy limit, they could drop you for whatever reason. Doesn't even matter. So you could have all the loyalty in the world to one brand, one particular company. All it takes is one underwriter to say, nah, your neighborhood's a little too risky. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, you're done. We are not renewing your policy. Good luck. And with homeowner policies, it's not like you can get a refund for those years that you didn't use it. That's not how insurance works. So you ever seen those videos where a reporter asks a question to a politician and the politician just gives some super politically correct nonsense answer that doesn't even answer the question? Corporate speak is just like that. I think corporations do politically correct answers better than the politicians do. So check this out. In a letter to the insurance commissioner, State Farm president and CEO Dennis Hardin explained that the decision to cut coverage in at-risk areas of the state was one that they were reluctant to make, but was necessary for the future of the company. I can't even start this without laughing. It's ridiculous. As shared with the department prior to the February 2023 filing, rate increases alone would likely be insufficient to restore SFG's financial strength. We must now take action to reduce our overall exposure to be more commensurate with the capital on hand to cover such exposure, as most insurers in California have already done. We have been reluctant to take this step, recognizing how difficult it will be for impacted policyholders, in addition to our independent contractor agents who are small business owners and employers in their local California communities. Bunch of gobbledygook. Honestly, it's basically saying, screw you, we'll lose a lot of money if we stay insuring people in Southern California. We're out. They just keep it real. Why can't corporations just keep it real? Why can't politicians just keep it real? Give it to us straight. We're not stupid. We have access to the internet. We have access to the YouTubes. You guys are educated right now. The people are smart. Gone are the days where statements like this will just fly. People will just eat it up. Those days are long gone. Well, that's it for this video. Again, my heart goes out to all of those families that are impacted as part of this tragic wildfire. If you made it this far into the video, I'd be interested to know, what state are you from? And what insurance company do you have for your homeowner's policy? I'm interested to find out. Go ahead and comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.